Hello friends, in today's video I'll be talking about Gestalt principles, which helps us how people naturally organize, understand and perceive visual elements. Before I start, just one request, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for similar UX informative videos. So the first one is law of proximity. Objects that are near or proximate to each other tend to be grouped together. So in this example, if you see on the left hand side, we have the list elements placed next to each other, which makes difficult for the user to scan which description belongs to which list. Whereas on the right hand side, it's clearly visible and user can scan each individual list with ease. The second one is law of common region. The principle of common region says that items within a boundary are perceived as a group and assumed to share some common characteristics or functionality. So in this example, again, we can see the best practices of Gestalt principles. So on the left hand side, we can see there's a form element and there are different categories like basic details, address, bank details. But there's no segregation between them, or there's no common boundary, which makes some time for the user difficult to understand which list belong to which one. So on the right hand side, if you see, the boundaries are defined very clear and user know, okay, this is the different section for basic details, different section for address, different section for bank details. So let's move to the third law, that is law of similarity. The human eye tends to perceive similar elements in a design as a complete picture, shape or group, even if those elements are separated. So let's see an example for the same. So on the left hand side, there's a screen or example of an application wherein we have the top section, some content on the left and some image or field on the right. And again, we have two call to action button at the bottom. So if you notice, the primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, all are in the same color tone or same color code, that is green color, which makes difficult for the user to understand which one is the primary action. So save should be actually in green color, that what we see on the right hand side, the correct example, the best practice, and the cancel should be in the secondary, which is second least important after the primary action. And add new is something that we can have a tertiary or in a different color tone based on the branding guidelines. So this makes easier for the user to scan the main call to action button that he needs to take an action. And the fourth one, law of continuity. Continuity is that our human brains tend to see objects as a continuous or smooth rather than disjointed or discontinuous, you can say. Let's see a very simple example in this case. If you see the example which is on displayed on left hand side, wherein we can see the cards are placed next to each other. If you see the first row, two cards are placed next to each other. Then there is some abrupt, only one card and which is aligned center of that particular page. And again, we have two cards aligned left and right. So when user scans from top to bottom, if he see the first card, he see the second card, and again in between there's a discontinuation where the user gets lost or user gets distracted. Now again we are showing fourth and fifth card. Now again user need to start from the start, from from where should I start. Whereas on the right hand side, the cards are displayed in symmetrical manner or in a proper way where he can scan those cards easily. He can make out, he can continuous, he can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's easy for the user to go as a flow from left to right. And the last one, the fifth one, is the law of closure. The law of closure states that individuals or human beings perceive objects such as shapes, pictures, letters, etc. as being a part of when they are not complete. Especially when parts of a whole picture are missing, our perception fills those gaps in the visual design. So if you see on the left hand side, there's a shape of circle behind, and above that there's a star. You can see directly a star, or we can see different shapes, five corners of those circles, if you see in a curve manner. Whereas on the right hand side, if you see, we can see the X or the cross button in between, and we can also see there are four triangles on top, bottom, left, right, and even on the all those corners, top, right, bottom, left, the small triangles. These techniques or these kind of laws are mostly used while creating the logos or the brand identity. So let's see an example of the negative spacing or law of closure. Loading circle on the right hand side, the user knows, okay, exactly how much percentage law of or system status, how much percentage that loading has been done. It's showing clear 75 percentage, where he can see that negative space which is remaining, that will be filled when it progresses. Whereas on the left hand side, it's very difficult to make out how much percent. I can see that the percentage, but it's very difficult to make out with those negative spacing, because I can see those opposite circle borders on top and bottom, but it's not easy or clear to the user how much percentage is completed by just looking that circle. So I hope you got the concept of law of closure. Yeah, so that's it guys for today's video. I hope I tried to explain in very simple examples that would help you to clear your concepts. If you guys have any questions, any queries or any comments, please mention in the below comment box. And if you like my video, please hit the like. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Take care. Bye. See you in the next video.